Australia, a vast and diverse continent, offers an array of experiences that cater to all types of travelers. From its stunning beaches and rugged outback to its vibrant cities and unique wildlife, there's no shortage of adventures to be had. However, before embarking on your journey, it's essential to be well prepared for the unique aspects of traveling in this beautiful country. Welcome to Travel Tales, and here are some key things you should know before traveling to Australia. Understanding the seasons. One of the first things to note is that Australia's seasons are opposite to those in the Northern Hemisphere. When it's winter in Europe or North America, it's summer in Australia. The country spans multiple climate zones, from tropical in the north to temperate in the south. This means that the best time to visit depends on your destination. For instance, the southern cities like Sydney and Melbourne are perfect for summer visits from December to February, while the northern regions like Cairns and Darwin are best explored during the dry season from May to October. It's also important to be aware of the extreme weather conditions that can occur in Australia. The summer months can bring intense heat waves, particularly in the interior regions, while the north is prone to tropical cyclones during the wet season. If you're planning outdoor activities like hiking or camping, always check the local weather forecasts and take necessary precautions. Understanding Australia's climate is crucial for planning a safe and enjoyable trip. Wildlife awareness. Australia is famous for its unique wildlife, including kangaroos, koalas, and a variety of other species found nowhere else on Earth. However, it's also home to some dangerous animals, including venomous snakes, spiders, and marine creatures like jellyfish and sharks. While encounters with dangerous animals are rare, it's essential to be informed and take necessary precautions, especially if you're spending time in nature or by the sea. When swimming at the beach, always swim between the flags, which indicate the safest areas patrolled by lifeguards. In tropical areas, be aware of marine stingers, especially during the warmer months, and consider wearing a stinger suit when snorkeling or diving. If you're exploring the outback or bushland, wear sturdy shoes and be cautious of snakes. Familiarize yourself with basic first aid procedures for bites or stings, just in case. Respecting Australia's wildlife and natural environment ensures a safer and more enjoyable experience. Travel logistics. Australia is a vast country, and getting around can involve long distances, especially if you're planning to explore multiple regions. Domestic flights are the most efficient way to travel between major cities, but if you have the time, road trips offer a fantastic way to see the diverse landscapes up close. Popular routes like the Great Ocean Road or the drive from Sydney to Brisbane provide breathtaking scenery and the freedom to explore at your own pace. Public transportation within cities is reliable, with extensive bus, train, and tram networks, particularly in larger cities like Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. However, if you're heading to more remote areas, renting a car or joining a guided tour might be necessary. Australia drives on the left side of the road, so be prepared if you're renting a vehicle. Also, ensure that you have a valid driver's license recognized in Australia. Lastly, Australia is known for its strict biosecurity laws, so be mindful of what you bring into the country. Certain food items, plants, and animal products are prohibited to protect the local environment and agriculture. Declare any items that may be restricted when you arrive to avoid hefty fines. Understanding the logistics of travel within Australia will help you navigate the country smoothly. Health and safety. Australia has a high standard of healthcare, but it's essential to have travel insurance that covers medical expenses, as healthcare costs can be significant for visitors. Australia has a reciprocal healthcare agreement with some countries, but this usually covers only essential medical treatment. For peace of mind, comprehensive travel insurance is recommended to cover accidents, illness, and any unexpected emergencies. The Australian sun is harsh due to the country's proximity to the ozone hole, so sun safety is a top priority. Always wear sunscreen with a high SPF, a hat, and sunglasses, and seek shade during the peak sun hours from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Dehydration is another risk, especially in hotter regions, so drink plenty of water and carry a refillable bottle with you. In terms of safety, Australia is generally a very safe destination with low crime rates. However, it's always wise to take common precautions, such as keeping an eye on your belongings, especially in crowded areas, and avoiding poorly lit areas at night. Being aware of your health and safety will help ensure a trouble-free trip. Currency and costs: Australia uses the Australian dollar, AUD, and it's advisable to carry some cash for small purchases, though credit and debit cards are widely accepted. ATMs are easily accessible in cities and towns, but if you're heading to remote areas, it's wise to withdraw cash in advance. Tipping is not mandatory in Australia, but it's appreciated for good service in restaurants and cafes, typically around 10%. Australia can be an expensive destination, especially in major cities. Accommodation, dining, and activities can add up quickly, so budgeting is key. To save money, consider staying in hostels, budget hotels, or using services like Airbnb. For meals, take advantage of the thriving cafe culture and food markets, where you can enjoy fresh, local food at reasonable prices. Public transportation passes and discounts for attractions can also help stretch your budget. Understanding the currency and managing your costs will allow you to enjoy all that Australia has to offer without breaking the bank. Careful planning and budgeting will make your trip more affordable and enjoyable. Cultural etiquette: Australia is known for its laid-back and friendly culture, but it's still important to be mindful of local customs and etiquette. Australians value punctuality, so arrive on time for appointments, tours, and social gatherings. Casual dress is the norm in most settings, but it's a good idea to check if certain places, like upscale restaurants or theaters, have specific dress codes. Respect for indigenous cultures is particularly important in Australia. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures are rich and diverse, with traditions dating back tens of thousands of years. When visiting cultural sites or participating in tours, approach these experiences with an open mind and a respectful attitude. Photography may be restricted at certain cultural sites, so always ask for permission if you're unsure. Australians are also known for their love of sports, and engaging in a friendly conversation about the latest cricket or football match can be a great way to connect with locals. Understanding and respecting Australia's cultural norms will enhance your interactions and help you blend in with the local way of life. Driving in Australia offers the freedom to explore its vast landscapes at your own pace, but it also comes with certain challenges and considerations. First and foremost, Australians drive on the left side of the road, which might take some getting used to if you're from a country that drives on the right. Ensure you have a valid driver's license that is recognized in Australia, and familiarize yourself with local traffic rules, such as speed limits and road signs. Long road trips are a popular way to see Australia, but distances between towns and cities can be vast, especially in the outback. It's essential to plan your route carefully, ensuring you have enough fuel, water, and supplies for the journey. In remote areas, fuel stations can be few and far between, so always fill up when you have the chance. Road conditions can vary, with some rural roads being unsealed or subject to flooding, so check road conditions before setting off. Wildlife can also pose a hazard on Australian roads, particularly at dawn and dusk when animals like kangaroos are most active. Drive with caution, especially in rural areas, and consider investing in rental car insurance that covers wildlife collisions. By being well prepared and cautious, driving in Australia can be a rewarding way to experience the country's natural beauty. Communication and connectivity: staying connected while traveling in Australia is relatively easy, with widespread access to mobile networks and Wi-Fi in urban areas. However, if you're venturing into remote or rural regions, mobile coverage can be sparse or non-existent. It's advisable to carry a portable Wi-Fi device or a satellite phone if you plan to spend extended periods in the outback or other isolated areas. Australia uses GSM networks, so ensure your mobile phone is unlocked and compatible with local networks. Purchasing a local SIM card upon arrival is a cost-effective way to stay connected, with major providers like Telstra, Optus, and Vodafone offering prepaid plans with generous data allowances. Many cafes, restaurants, and public spaces in cities and towns offer free Wi-Fi, which is useful for staying in touch with friends and family or planning your next adventure. For international travelers, it's also worth noting that Australia has a different plug type, Type 1, and operates on 230 volts, so an adapter may be necessary for your electronic devices. Ensuring you have reliable communication tools will make your travels smoother and keep you connected wherever you go. Emergency services and safety tips. Australia is generally a very safe country for travelers, but it's important to be aware of how to access emergency services if needed. The emergency number in Australia is 000, which connects you to police, fire, and ambulance services. This number is free to call from any phone, including mobile phones without credit. It's wise to keep this number saved in your phone and to be aware of your location when exploring remote areas. In case of medical emergencies, Australia has an extensive network of hospitals and clinics, particularly in urban areas. However, if you're traveling in the outback or other remote regions, medical facilities can be several hours away. Consider taking a basic first aid kit with you and familiarize yourself with first aid procedures. For non-emergency medical assistance, you can visit a local doctor or pharmacy, where pharmacists can provide advice on minor ailments. It's also important to be aware of natural hazards like bushfires, which are common in Australia during the summer months. Always follow local advice and alerts, particularly when visiting national parks or rural areas. By being informed and prepared, you can ensure that your trip to Australia is both safe and enjoyable. Respecting Indigenous cultures. Australia's Indigenous cultures are among the oldest continuous cultures in the world, with deep spiritual connections to the land. When traveling in Australia, it's important to approach Indigenous cultural sites and experiences with respect and understanding. Many national parks and landmarks, such as Uluru, hold significant cultural importance to Indigenous Australians, and visitors are encouraged to learn about and respect these traditions. When visiting Indigenous communities or participating in cultural tours, always seek permission before taking photographs and be respectful of local customs and traditions. Some areas may be restricted or require a permit to visit, so it's important to plan ahead and follow any guidelines provided by local authorities or tour operators. Engaging with Indigenous cultures offers a unique and enriching perspective on Australia, and showing respect for these traditions ensures that they are preserved for future generations. Learning about Indigenous history and culture before your trip can also enhance your experience. Many museums and cultural centers across Australia offer exhibitions and information on Indigenous cultures, providing valuable insights into the rich heritage of the land you are visiting. By approaching your travels with respect and curiosity, you can gain a deeper appreciation for Australia's diverse cultural landscape. Traveling to Australia in 2024 promises to be an unforgettable experience, full of stunning landscapes, vibrant cities, and unique wildlife. By understanding the local climate, respecting wildlife, planning your logistics, and being aware of health, safety, and cultural norms, you can ensure a smooth and enjoyable journey. Whether you're exploring the bustling streets of Sydney, the tranquil beaches of Queensland, or the rugged outback, Australia offers endless opportunities for adventure and discovery. Safe travels!